Inside Out is Pixar's 15th film and is also a sort of return to form for Pixar, and where for pretty much the last 5 years they haven't really come out with anything that's super great. Even though I liked Monsters University, this is finally a back to form for them, and where they not only have an interesting idea, but they are able to execute it very well. Now, of course, this still does follow that same sort of setup that we've seen in every other Pixar film and the way that it comes together, and it's not so much an idea that's never been done before, because the way that I see it, it is practically Lizzie McGuire's mind if there was 5 of her and there was a whole feature film for it. However, while you're supposed to look at originality, you also need to look at execution, and this movie executes it almost perfectly. Now, what you have are these 5 emotions that are done in this very animated fashion, that are more animated than the actual animation that we see in Pixar, and where they are pretty much controlling and sort of reacting to this little girl and the things that she sees in her environment. You have the lead as joy, you also have disgust, sadness, fear, and probably the best one, since I know everyone will have their favorites, but I'm pretty sure this one will probably be the best, and that is anger, voiced by Lewis Black. Now, I did find it really cool the way that they not only have, again, those 2 forms of animation, but the way they play with it, and where there's other things that they do, especially as they get more into the girl's mind. And as we also know with Pixar, we know that they know how to manipulate emotions, and they know how to show you an idea or a character and be like, do you care? Yeah, boom, slap in the face. On top of that, you have the score from Michael Giacchino, who not only dominated it in Jurassic World, I always have to give a callback to how good he was in Lost, but here he continues to show how good he is at setting up just the tone of the film, and where this movie really does encompass what they say in the advertisement. These are practically the 5 emotions that you feel in every Pixar movie that you watch, or most Pixar movies. However, I know that the film's going to get a lot of praise, and rightfully so, but there are still some things in the movie that either weren't completely fleshed out, or they sort of looked at it and they took the easy way out. And you may say, yeah, well, it's a kid's film, but saying it's a kid's film is sort of a childish way to review a movie or to give a statement. And also, Pixar is supposed to be a little bit above just regular kids films, and there are things in here where, as we know Pixar does, it is a family film, not just a kids film. Family film, that's quote from the captain, in where they actually have moments that you know is going to go above kids' heads. It's stuff for the adults. So there you can realize that in some other moments, and not so many of them, but there are moments where they just kind of pass over things that they've already established. For example, they have all of these sort of thought islands that they've constructed, and stuff happens with them, and it makes you wonder, well, this sort of shouldn't end up well for the little girl. There's even this whole idea and where they're going on a mission, and this mission that they need to complete, well, they show you several times that this mission can be completed easily if they just take this route, but they decide not to do that. And there's even a moment where if one of the other emotions touches one of the other emotions' thoughts, like these little thought bubbles that they have, then it changes color. But they pick and choose when that happens, since fear at one moment touches everything. But again, those are just smaller things that are still very relevant in the movie, and you can't just ignore them. But this movie still has a lot of genius things going on with it. A lot of references, and even some that are subliminal, and some that I thought were really interesting that they delved into. One of my personal favorites was when they're in this world going into like imagination land, and they sort of have a box of facts and a box of opinions. They drop them, they mix them together, and they say, what's the difference? So Inside Out is definitely a film that you should go check out, because it's, again, one of those movies that not only kids would like, but adults will love. However, I will say the weakest part was actually the short that came before it, titled Lava, and where it practically felt like a song that Andy from The Office would write. Beautiful animation, but at a certain point I was just like, this is it? However, I am curious your thoughts about Inside Out if you checked it out. What were your favorite references? Not only who your favorite emotion was, but your favorite references that they had in the movie dealing with ideas and thoughts and the sort of puns that they did. Definitely let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.